welcome everybody to this edition of Strong Professor Perspective Podcast. I'm one of the hosts, Keith Armstrong, along with
Uncle Spoke,
Hey,
aka
you,
I'm sorry, aka Karate Man out this motherfucker.
and
First,
your
first,
boy, and your boy Fluke Dog.
you starting that cussing early, man.
hey man, look here,
Give
my
us five.
bad.
But we good. We good. We good with the one. You know what I'm saying?
Shit.
Okay. So this is Strong Perspective Podcast. Uh, 3 years running. So I think we're close to being almost veterans because uh, still a lot of things we need to learn and all these, but our conversation is superior though. See, with that, that's why I enjoy the thing. You know what I mean? But make sure you go to our YouTube channel, doing a little housekeeping. Go to our YouTube channel, like, share, and subscribe. You know, make sure you leave any comments of anything that you want to talk about. Um,
Jo- John Armstrong.
Hey man, you said we still got some things to learn. You said that because I cussed, brother.
oh no, I wouldn't do that. You know why?
Yeah, yes you did.
No,
Yes you did.
if it was you knowing me, as long as you have, I would have said, Jacolo has so much to learn, and you just gave us an example of it. No, I
You
didn't
know
If
say
you
you
did.
if you just said Jacolo, that'd have triggered him, man. He ain't for that.
And,
Jacolo.
and you and you know it's gonna be some babies out there now. You have introduced another name to the diaspora, and
That's a
I
it,
thought
thing.
that's a pretty name. That's a pretty name. No, man, no.
Oh,
My name is Jaquari. Juqurry. Jaquari, not Jacory, not uh, any other variation.
yeah,
It's Jaquari.
no doubt. Um, please go like, share, and subscribe. We're here every Friday on YouTube Live and also on Facebook Live. But please, go to our YouTube channel. Show us some love. Show us some love. I mean, because once we get a certain point, we'll be able to reach other people. See, you got to put in your time for these folks to give back to you. So guess what we're doing? We're putting in that time. But the quality from no, we was a little drunk in the early days, right? Until we started until we started watching ourselves recording. I did a replay one day.
I don't even watch no more.
Look, I knew I was gone when I was doing this. Everything I say, my
Hey,
hands.
look here.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
got so I got so bad. I'm gonna tell you how pathetic and selfish I was. I got so bad. I was mad at both of y'all and shit. I was like, they saw this shit happening, man. They ain't say nothing.
You did. You
Okay,
did. You did nothing. You did
You
that's
nothing.
you watch
that's how we doing
you
it.
watch let it you let it just go.
Yeah.
I thought
Look,
this was a safe space for us.
I was done. I was done drinking on the air when I looked at myself one time. The only time I watched the show, my nose is shining, and I was like, "When Irish eyes are smiling, all the world
And,
seems bright and gay."
when,
Listen,
when you're trying to take
so, hey, a brother ain't got no comeback other than his head don't say, I ain't mad with nobody.
yeah,
Why
Yeah.
everybody mad at me?
Yeah.
when you take yourself seriously, some things you just got to cut out. So on the average, about an hour and a half, you can not partake in that little bit of time and get and spill out what that what's in your head. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you take a sip, this is my own personal opinion. I don't I don't recommend this to everybody. But if I take a sip, it gets my creative juices going. My
Mm.
passion is a fuel to whatever I say. But the thing about it is, this that slight relaxation take away that anxiety, so I won't be angry on it. I could be saying something very, very good, but my anger energy because of my anxiety on how the world is. That's the
Ang-
only thing people see.
anger is a legitimate emotion if you can harness it the right way.
Yeah, but it runs. Excuse me, but it has a shelf life.
It does.
Because I tell you, I'll say
Does
this.
it have a shelf life?
It does. For me, it had a shelf life because when I was in sports, I was angry because of poverty, and I threw it all into my football and my basketball. Right. Then I got to college after my junior year. I ran out of that anger, and I didn't exercise the other creative and competitive muscles. So
So
I had to rebuild them things.
so did you shelve the anger, or did the anger evolve, bro?
It could have evolved, but guess
Because I
what it
mean,
did?
because
I saw that it ran out.
sports weren't the only thing that you were successful at.
Now I get that, but I'm saying what sports, what basketball and football did for me was to go in and release every bit of anger. So anger was my fuel, always been.
You know what? I never, ever functioned with anger, man. You know what I'm saying? What I functioned with, okay, I was fueled by people who thought they knew me, who never took the time to get to know me, but had an opinion. You know what I'm saying? And I was always offended by that. Now, if that constitutes anger, then, I totally agree with you.
a little bit, not completely. No, mine. I can put a tag as anger for me because that's exactly what it was. You know what I'm saying? Every time I got on the court, I don't care how long a relationship I had with that guy I was playing against. He was my enemy. I wasn't going to hurt him, but I had a deep dislike for the simple fact that he had a different uniform on. Period. Period. And this is how I recognized that it was anger because I couldn't turn it on and turn it off.
What you describe as anger, man, for me and myself, I would say it was cockiness, man. Seriously, because I had a chip on my shoulder. I had an enormous chip on my shoulder. I didn't talk a lot of shit though. I mean, I would talk like general shit, funny stuff or whatever. But football, I'm looking at the motherfucker in front of me, and I'm telling him like, I'm kicking your ass today, buddy, and there ain't nothing you can do about it. Nothing you can do about it. You better get somebody else to stand in front of me with you, because yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was always that guy, man, who challenged himself because I was always being called out for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? Because I never made waves, man. A lot of people think that was my personality, but it really wasn't. I never made waves. I was just trying to be a part of something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because for me, especially in high school, for me, it was like, are you going to be the one who don't make a statement? We had our uncles who came before us. You know what I'm saying? And they had a name for themselves, and it was always, well, are you on the same level with them, or are you just like them, or can you make a name for yourself, or whatever? And for me, I just wanted to just be a part of that group. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to be that guy who was raised in our family who didn't make a name for himself. You know what I'm saying? That's who I was. You know, once I got to college, then it became personal. You know what I'm saying? When I was in high school, it wasn't personal. It was just, you know, fulfilling that role or whatever. But when I got to college, then it was like, you know, you have this opportunity to do something. You know, like the guy who wrote about us and stuff in the papers and stuff. He's like, hey man, you know, you have this next step, man. What you gonna do? Hey man, you can achieve that. What you gonna do? And for me in high school, it was never that. It was never you know, personal. It was just, hey man, you part of this is who y'all family is. But once I got to college, it was like, hey man, you have an opportunity to prove this or prove that. You know, and then I had a focus, you know, and I stopped being angry because it stopped being about me trying to fit in with everybody else, and it became something about me personally, what I can do. You know, I didn't just want to be, you know, somebody that, hey man, you know, he just be mentioned on the team. I wanted to be that guy everybody looked to and say, hey man, you know, we were good because you supported us or you made us this way, or whatever. And I started to discover that part of myself. You know,
I
once
agree.
I left college, once I left college, the Hall of Fame thing didn't even cross my mind. Matter of fact, when my coach first called me, he said, "Hey man, I need you to do so and so and such so I could put you in the Hall of Fame." And I was like, "Hall of Fame?" You know. And then he started running it down and said, "Hey dude, this and that and so forth. What you gonna do?" I was like, "Oh shit, I am in the I am in in that realm. I am in that position, man." You know what I'm saying? And then that's when I started stepping my game up, and that's when I started recognizing what my game was. You know what I'm saying? I used to be what they used to call him, the garbage man. I used to be that guy, grabbing the rebounds and putting it back up. And then I moved from that to that. Hey man, call this play for me because I got this sucker behind me. You know,
Okay.
and it was a transition.
You know, I think everybody have different motivations. You know what I'm saying? Um, my love for something. Like I said, I played angry, but my love for those games gave me the opportunity to get rid of my anger. You know what I'm saying? That's who I was. I can't, you know, understanding that when you let it build up, when you allow it to, I hate to use the word fester, but when you put it on the back burner and not address it, it's going to pour out. It may not be, you know, in quick succession, but down the line, it's going to manifest itself somewhere. So what I started doing with myself is addressing. If I had a not so good interaction with somebody, I addressed it right there because my goal was always to do what? To go to sleep at night. I don't like losing my sleep. Never, I never lost my sleep. Even if I lost a fight, I knew the next day, well, I knew that I didn't lose the fight because I was overwhelmed. I lost the fight because of inexperience or something happened. But I was not going to lose sleep over that because if I felt I needed to go back and take care of that business, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to go take care of that business. We got to fight again. Feel me? But when my fight was over, there was no residual to it. I made sure of that because, like I said, my sleep was always personal. You know what I mean? You know, because the three of us grew up under circumstances where we had both our parents, and we saw a lot of good, but shit, we saw a lot of bad. And I tried to help you guys through it by being a buffer, but I never had a buffer. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, we all got to go through this together. So we need to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? We need to get this shit. Even if we were too, if we was too immature, too young to really understand the circumstances, we needed to talk about it amongst the three of us. You know what I'm saying? Because I did not do well with something going unresolved. Didn't do well at that at all.
What did you feel that was unresolved, man? In terms of your athletic, uh,
Result. When it came to athletic, I mean, look, I'll just my athletic career was what it was because in the moment I don't have no regrets. But the one thing I do understand is I had more power. I wish I knew I had more power over my situation. But I don't have no regret because that's how life is. You know what I'm saying? Because when I was winning, I saw other people not win. When I was in my biggest moments in high school, in college, my biggest moments, biggest wins, I looked across and I saw other teams not win. Or when I won my starting position, I saw the person behind me and their disappointment. So that's when I say I don't really have nothing that's been unresolved. But the only thought that I wish I had, you do have more power over how you handle what comes.
Hmm.
You know,
I wish I would have realized that, man. I mean, just uh, like my first choice in college, man. I mean, that was like that was something I was talking to. You know what I mean? I really didn't know what direction I wanted to take. Football in, especially when I was left to my own devices. You know what I mean? I could have educated myself. I could have at least educated myself, man. Seriously, but you know, funny enough, I don't think I would change any part of my journey, man. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. And I'm not gonna sit here and say that I didn't give my sports career 100% because of this reason or that reason or whatever. I just didn't do it because you know I was skilled to a certain level when I started those things, and I did very little to increase my skill set. Very, very little. I was always just bigger and stronger and faster than a lot of people, and that carried a lot of my success. Is when I got to college or whatever, when I started just working on technique, and that carried over into my personal life about technique and how to do shit, the proper way to do shit, and I had success there. So I mean, I, I, I used to have NFL dreams, just like anybody who, any young man, black, white or brown man who gets on the field. You want to see your name in lights. You want to see, you want to hear the crowd screaming your name. You know, but it's some positions where you're one of the guys, unless you can figure out a way to be a standout. You know, so yeah, I love my career, man. I really did because I didn't have I had reasons, but as far as playing with anger, man, I was happy to be there. I was happy to be on the field, man. I was happy to be there doing 2 a day practices, in 106 or 7 degrees or whatever. So
damn.
it was like that, yeah. It
yeah,
was
yeah,
like that.
yeah. And and that's the thing, real quick. I should add also, it was a privilege to play for my high school team, football and basketball. It was a
Yeah.
privilege. I was happy to be there. You understand? To wear that uniform. I was happy. Maybe it was the times, but to be able to wear that uniform that I played in to play against other teams, man, it's a thing.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say about it. Because I wanted to just throw that in there because I don't want people to think I use the sport that I love, the sports that I love, to expel the anxiety and the anger that I was living sometimes. That's all. So let me ask you, and then we gonna shift it a little bit because we're gonna come back to the sports thing because there's a couple things I want you guys' opinion about. But I got a I got a fresh one today. This yo, my barber, my barber. I've known him for 12. No, I've known him longer than that, 25 years. But he's been cutting my hair for 15. And we gotten to know each other. And one thing, the magical thing about barbers is when you have a relationship with them, you really don't have to tell them what you want. It's kind of like what an involuntary reflex, right? But I was sitting there, and the one thing I love about barbershops that, especially in the black community, is overrated, underrated. I'm sorry, underrated is the conversations in there. So my question to you guys, and tell me your opinion about this. I had a revelation, and I said barbershops are important because men get the opportunity to find out that we're not alone in a lot of the situations that we're going through. Because
Yeah.
we listen to each other's stories and we find a lot in common when it comes to women, when it comes to work, when it comes to community. And I think in my eyes, it is very underrated what it does. Now, it doesn't give you complete answers, but what it gives you is community. What are your takes on it?
I could agree with all those sentiments, man. It's for me, it's very important. The usual suspects, usual suspected traits in a barber, man, a personable dude, a personable person. Because I've had ladies cut my hair also. That's one thing that I really haven't found since I've moved to my city is a consistent barber. You know, and I'm not a chair hopper. I am
Yeah,
not a chair hopper.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And whatever your opinion on that is, I go with what the barbers say. Barbers don't like chair hoppers. But if you got 6 or 7 heads in front of me, brother, you know, I can't be loyal to you and pay the bill. I can't do that.
I'm gonna give you the courtesy. Hey man, I got
Yeah.
you. Oh, you know what I'm saying?
And if that's the case, I'll let you choose my barber. How about that?
That's always a good thing though. See,
Yeah.
and usually barbers, especially the one who own the barbershop, if he gets behind, if he's a good quality dude, and he know that you waiting like 3, 4. This is what before because you got to think about what the pandemic did was you had to call to make an appointment. You know what I'm saying? So that kind of erased it. But before then, a good barber, what he would do, like, hey, Keith, I got 4 ahead of you, man. Why don't you go to my man here?
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So what you think, Damon?
Yeah, I did that once or twice and had to come home and line my shit up right.
Oh, I'm not getting out that chair until this motherfucker. No, no, no. I'm sorry.
For me, man, for me, when I used to go to the barbershop, man, I did it for conversation, man. Real talk. You know, you meet good people, man, like minds. You know what I'm saying? And being having the opportunity, man, to kick it with people like that, man, is a good thing. And the barbershop becomes more than just going to get your haircut. It becomes something that it becomes like a community type of thing. You know, and there's arguments and there's respectability. You know what I'm saying? How many times you been in the barbershop and you argue with somebody and it didn't escalate, man, into something
Yeah,
where you stop talking to a person?
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You come to the conclusion that, hey, man, I respect your point of view. I don't agree with it, but I respect it because it's men talking, you know, and there's no, of course you're going to be challenged to a certain degree. But that happens in all, in any situation, man, where you don't agree with a person. When there's respect in it, then you can go away thinking, man, you know what? I can deal with that. I feel comfortable in that setting, you know.
You definitely learn that if what you have to offer the conversation is not grounded in certain shit, then you probably shouldn't interject anymore, bro.
Yeah.
The best barbershop I ever went to, man, was I went up to see Keith, man, and sat there. I think it was downtown Pittsburgh or whatever. Sitting there kicking with them brothers, man, listening to it and like learn some shit or whatever. And then at the end of when I got my haircut, you already said, "Hey, man, that'd be $5."
Yes, sir. I missed them
And I
days.
said, I said $5.
Mm.
You mean to tell me
Yeah.
that I could get good conversation, a great haircut, and learn something?
What is that? 90, 92, maybe 93, something like that.
And then my man kept calling me sir. And I know he was older than me. And I'm like, man, I could do this all day.
Yes, sir.
Was he wearing a white jacket?
Yeah, he wore a barber's jacket. If I can,
Yeah.
all them old heads. They was. Hey, look, all three of them was old heads, man. So when they had something to say, and they was running numbers out of there too. But if they had something to say, it was some golden shit. You know what I'm
Man, I left that. I was like, Chief, man, that was crazy, man.
Mhm.
saying? Yeah.
Is that what a dude told you that the young boys make you barber?
You said the young boys what?
They make you barber.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because look, let me tell you something. What I used to do, I used to go in there. I told him, look, cut it low. I told my barber, I don't want you to touch my hairline, right? And I want you to cut my hair backwards, right? And to this length. He said, okay, and this is what he said. Okay, I will do as you ask me. Are you sure this is what you want? Now I had been going. Look, I've been going to this man for 2 years, asking for the same thing. It's a good cut, but asking for the same thing. But what I started noticing was it was like thinning. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, damn, I guess that's what's in my future, right? So one day I cut all my hair off, cut it all down, and I was wearing a zero for about 6 months. So I grew it out, and as it was growing out, I said, "Damn, I ain't thinning out." And started brushing my hair forward. I was like, "Oh shit!" So I went back to him. This is funny. This is a professional for you. I went back to him. I said, "Hey, I wanted to tell you something. I understood what you was doing. You didn't tell me what I should do because I never asked.
Mm.
You gave me what I wanted. I said I thought my hair was thinning, but I realized having you cut it back, just the way it was, the where my hair grew, it's gonna look like it's thinning. He started laughing. He said, "Hey, you the customer." Exactly what he said.
You don't know what you know until you know it, man. That's
Yep.
like that's
I
like
know that.
when I first got with Nikki, like first couple of years or whatever, I was wearing a size 14 shoe, and I was always complaining about my doggone feet hurting and shit, right? So she finally got tired of it, and first she took me to Walmart, got me a pedicure, got all my goddamn toenails cut off, and then she took me to the mall and got me a size 15, which was the proper size shoe. And I said, well, shit, these 15 don't make my feet look pretty like the 14 do.
I'm gonna tell
Pretty,
you,
pretty, pretty petite shit.
Damon, I'm gonna tell you the crazy thing. When he was in college, and I had some extra money. I'm buying them cleats, and I'm buying them just some sneakers and walk around sneakers and shit. Right? I'm buying them 14. He said, "Hey man, I don't wear 14s. I wear 15." I said, "Damn man, why didn't you tell me?"
2 3 shoes later.
Because there was free pretty shoes. God damn
But
it!
it had you told me.
What am I? What
No, 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 hold on. Had you told me ahead of time, you would have had the right size and free pretty shoes. That's all I'm saying.
had I told you that ahead of time, I'd have been biting the goddamn hair, wouldn't
No.
I? This shit.
Why would I buy you some shoes that's too small, bro?
You said
Hey
you'd
man,
have been
look.
biting the hand.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
a
man.
small
Look.
though, man.
I ain't had no reason. I ain't had no reason to think that you would stop, Keith, but I didn't want to risk it. I needed shit. I needed things, and you was providing. Goddamn
So,
That's honest, bro.
so,
it.
with you, I'll start with you, Fluke. What is a pet peeve when it comes to a barber that's a no for you?
A pet peeve. Pet peeve, man, for me is when they don't put that shit under that light or don't spray that motherfucker after they cut another motherfucker's hair. And the clippers is hot.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, man. We let them joints cool, man. You got to spray them off and clean them too, man. Cause this communal shit, man. That shit is a real thing.
Real thing. I mean, you got to look, and that's the thing about it is for the youngins that will ever see this podcast and old heads too. When you go in a barbershop, look for the damn license on the mirror. It has to be displayed.
Mm.
Now, it ain't going to guarantee everything, but it'll let you know that this dude is legit. You know
The
what I'm saying?
states say this man is competent.
Yep.
And you can sue.
Uh,
Oh,
Hey, man, I got this growth on my head, man, and it won't go away. What the hell?
yeah. Quiet, do you
Like
got a,
that song. What the hell? What the hell, man?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Jaquari, do you have a pet peeve?
I do, man. I do, man. I understand that even though the person is at work or whatever, they might have a phone call. I don't mind a phone call, man, but you can't like be cutting my hair and then stop and I'll be back in a minute and go in the back and be fucking around for 10 minutes and then come back or whatever. I had a dude do that, man. I had a dude do that and didn't cut the clippers off. I'm sitting there holding the goddamn clippers while they on,
Come
waiting
on.
for him.
Are you,
I said, this
He
motherfucker.
told you to hold the clippers.
Yeah, hey, hold these for me right quick, big bro. I
see,
said, for real, you ain't gonna turn the motherfuckers off, I mean.
look, he must have really liked you or trusted you with that. That's some bullshit right there, boy.
Man, look, I ain't
Wake up the
never
next Wake up the next day, you got scabs all on your shit.
man. Look here. He said, yeah, just hold it, just hold it steady, man. Don't let it touch your head. So I did what he said. I was mad at the motherfucker though. Every barbershop I ever had, man, it did time though. So
Well,
you
it's a
know,
second chance, though.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
what I love about being a barber, man.
yeah,
You
man.
have a legitimate second chance, and you are an actual business owner. Each barber is a business owner, man. I love that because it gives you a second chance.
The best barber I had, man, was Irene Gamble, a woman. Man, she be like, you come in and you wolfing, you like, sit down. She cut you up, fed you up, all that, tape it, all that. Then do the beard and all that stuff, and you get up and you look like shit, man. I ain't saw that person in about 10 years.
But
You know
you
what I'm
sitting up here looking like new money.
saying?
I
Did she
yeah.
tell you, get up because I got a whole lot of people waiting now.
Yes.
I see you in 2 weeks.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, she was straight up, man. May she rest in peace.
And
Uh,
also, man, I also, appreciate that. I also appreciate good barber's honesty, man, because I'm in Virginia again, man, sitting in the dude chair, and he was doing my beard, so I leaned my head back and shit. He had a little T edge, the little gray T edge clippers or whatever. He did my neck, and I went to sit back up. He said, "Hold on, man," and he took the T edges and he shaved my nostrils out. I said, "God damn, what the fuck is you doing, man?" He said, "Man,
Yep.
yeah." As he said, "Man, every time you come here, man, I couldn't take it no more, big dog." I said, "All right, all right,
oh,
motherfucker,
the old,
you could have told me that."
the older we get,
Man.
the older we get, our nose hairs start growing more rapidly. You know that, right?
Man, look here,
Yes, sir. And
it,
also
it,
the ears too.
it look like sometime, man, it look like I done snorted goddamn. What's that dude? The dude with the gap in his teeth in the afro, Cornell West.
Mhm.
It look like I've been snorting Cornell West and shit, all gray and shit, man. I got to style my nose hair before I leave the house. Just cut the motherfuckers, man. That's all you got to do. I ordered this shit off of the Chinese website. It's goddamn inner nose wax,
Yeah.
and
Oh, I know
it's
you do that to yourself, boy.
yeah, it's a good concept, but you don't never want to do that.
You never want to do that.
You don't want
Snatch all your nose hairs out, and every bug in the country is flying up in your damn nostrils and shit.
man. Look, no,
You'll be
bro.
quiet for about half an hour.
Yeah, I ain't man enough to do it. I'm not myself. That shit hurt. It hurt bad.
I'm gonna tell you
It
something.
it 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 bad hurt.
I'm gonna tell you. Here's what it was. I took my time. I've been blessed with every barber that I had that has always been a very good barber, professional, right? The quality of the cut, it varies, man. I mean, because you got guys with the old school, you got all these different things, right? Different variations, but when they are professional,
Yeah.
that is key. It really is. You know what I mean?
Hey, I saw Miss Irene. She cutting the brother hair. He got dandruff bad as hell. And everybody in the room seeing the shit. But she whispered and said, "Hey, baby, go home and get you some Head and Shoulders
Yeah.
and wash your hair.
Yep.
Use your nails to scratch all them flakes out." You know what I'm saying? And then when they left, she said, "Better not bring his ass back up in here."
Yeah, you better get it right.
Why? And let me correct myself. She didn't cuss. She didn't cuss at all. She was like, "Why would somebody come in here not washing their hair, man? That doesn't make any sense." But she didn't front them off though. You know what I'm saying? She just put her stuff under the light and sprayed it down and said, "Okay, next, hey, go wash your hair, get all the flakes out of it and all that. And come back and see me."
Yeah.
Hey man,
You
and chat if you out there, man. I want y'all to chime in on this. Hey man, do y'all hold y'all breath while you getting your hair cut?
Hold your breath.
Yeah,
Ah,
I don't breathe. I don't I breathe, but it's very timed or whatever. You know, especially when you
why?
know
Well, explain to me what you mean.
because I mean it's just say somebody's like close to
What
you or
up,
whatever.
bro?
What's going on, KB? Say somebody's close to you, man, and they cutting your hair or whatever, man. And, you know, they breathing or whatever, and they breathing, you know, into your nose, into your mouth and shit, man. And you know, you exchanging air with motherfuckers, man. I don't want that to happen. I don't want that to happen at all, man. You know, so I'd be like, you know,
Oh, okay,
just
I see what you're saying. I thought you were talking
yeah.
about the odor of their breath, but you just talking
No, no, no. I don't know what the odor of their
look,
breath
look,
is
look,
because
look.
I don't smell it.
The dermatological. The
Yeah.
word, the dermatological.
And as I get older and shit, man, you know, I can't hold my breath that long, so I got to ask a motherfucker to stop.
See, look, I'm gonna tell you something. If the motherfucker get that close, now you talking about breathing in the back of his head. I get that. I understand. If you doing it like that, that's cool. But if he that close that you feel like you got to hold your breath,
No, I mean all that. I mean when somebody when they're on the back of the head or whatever, you know, I sit there still like
it is a personal. It breaks being a barber breaks your personal space.
personal boundaries.
Hey, I
I
remember a
feel
man
like
back in the day used to smoke them cigars and shit,
mm,
Mm.
and be up in your face, and you be like,
Breath smell like a goddamn campfire out this piece.
goddamn, like a motherfucker drinking shit shakes and shit.
Mm. Mm, mm,
I'm gonna tell
And you try to keep your composure.
mm.
I'm gonna tell you a good. I'm gonna tell you really and truly why I think, and I have it's a professional thing, but it just happened to do with just having personal accountability. Is when your barber cuts your hair and he has cologne on his hands. His hands do not smell like anything, but you know what I'm saying?
Hands smell like sandwich and shit. Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like, look, look,
nobody that
mo-
shit.
guy, you know, barbers got to eat, and especially you have a great relationship, right?
Yeah.
Rico McCoy, my man. Rico, you see this is Creative Cuts Barbershop, 4425 St. James Street, and you see the numbers down there, folks. 919-855-0779. Call, get an appointment. You got two fantastic barbers in there. Vincent McDonald and Rico McCoy. Go check them out. But
But you know,
Rico would come in and eat fish, right? And I know that we had a 15, 20 year relationship, right? He's been cutting my hair for the last maybe 15 years. But he's eating fish, right? And he said, yeah, yeah, big dog, go ahead, sit in the seat. I'm gonna go ahead. Let me just finish this off. Oh, you know, I got you, brother. That's my man, right? So what I liked was when he was done, he got up, walked into the bathroom, and washed his hands. See that professional thing, and you know, he washed his hands, and the lotion that he wore it wasn't strong, it's not pungent. You know what I mean? Because he knows it's gonna be around your head. He know, you see, and that's the thing. That's a professional thing, and also he understands that when you eat food and you do anything else, your hands is gonna be doing the situation. You know what I'm saying?
and it's like Damon was saying, man. You know, it's a unwritten and unspoken contract that you know your barber is going to present himself in a certain way, but you got to present yourself in a certain way also. You
Yeah,
know, you need to have your freshly washed head. You know what I mean? You need to make sure you brush some teeth. You know,
yeah.
with extra care.
That's important, man, because you don't
You
want to be
need to.
you don't want to be blowing no dragon in somebody's face.
Yeah.
because
And everybody,
you don't want it being done to you.
exactly. That's why I don't breathe. But you know, everybody go to the barbershop in the morning. So
Hmm.
how much morning breath you think they taking in? That shit ain't fun.
Yeah.
And then I brought it up. I think probably the last time we had him on the show. The doggone hair splinters. I didn't know that was a thing.
Mm.
But when you cutting hair, it's the same concept as it's like when you get hair bumps. You cut that hair. It's got sharp edges, so it's going grow grow back into the skin because it's sharp.
Yeah.
Well, the hair that's getting cut off your head that has sharp edges too,
Yeah.
and that shit gets splinters to get under your fingernails and your hands and shit. That's why you see a lot of barbers wearing gloves nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah. That's real. That's real. Marcus Smith says, my barber back home was late all the time. I finally started picking him up from his house and opened the shop the days I had to.
Hmm.
That's real. You gotta improvise. You gotta improvise. Uh, Nikki, Nikki says, what are your thoughts about middle-aged men? That's men. It's supposed to be an N at the end of it, dyeing their hair and their beard. Me personally, it's the same thing as women getting whatever, man. Me personally, I throw a little bit of dye into my situation until I'm ready to go all gray. I have no problem with that. You know what I'm saying? And I understand what you're saying, sister-in-law. I really do. But me personally, I want y'all thoughts after this. Me personally, I don't see nothing wrong with that. Just get the right shade of dye because most black men is dark brown. But what we do is we get the jet black. So that shit make you look like fucking let me think of an actor.
Hulk Hogan,
Hulk, Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan in his villain stage and shit.
Yes, yes indeed. That's real. But you gotta get black men have to get dark brown because that's the color of our hair. Is dark brown. You
It's
feel what I'm
it,
saying?
it,
So
it's that
what do you guys think?
it's that Taiwan.
Yeah. What you guys think about
Me personally, I don't give a damn, man. I done lost the fight with the gray. It just, it is what it is, bro.
it? Yeah, yeah, that's real. That's real.
You know what I'm saying?
That's real. Right now, because I worked for 30 years and could not wear a beard, right? So I can wear and if I don't carry it's gonna be a lot of gray in here, right? I said to myself, this probably last year, I said, you know what? I'm gonna give myself a year. I'm growing it out. I'm gonna give myself a year and I'm going to work on this and I'm gonna put the darkness in this because I never got the opportunity to do it. I want to see myself like this. I couldn't do it when I could just grow it out. Now that I can do it, like, yeah, I like this. I like it. Cause you know why? Because I didn't get a chance to do it. I'm getting to see, having kind of see exactly what I missed. Let me put it like that.
Yeah, I don't have any particular negative feelings about it. I mean, I wouldn't do it though. For me, I just couldn't turn up with a black beard. You know what I mean? I couldn't go to work with a black beard. Wouldn't nobody accept that.
They
Like
would
what
look
the
at
fuck?
you like,
Yeah, like what the fuck?
no, no, no. You know what they would do? Because they wouldn't understand what was going on. They would look at you and say, "What you do? What you do, Mr. Armstrong?"
You done lost weight?
Yeah.
Shit like that. You done got taller? No, motherfucker.
Uh,
Damn.
Leave me alone. Yeah.
Keith Barnes said, you know, no, I don't hold my breath. I've been lucky to not have a barber that had an odor as a boy, it was one that would let his crouch touch my arm. Fuck you,
No,
were
no, he didn't.
traumatized. And
No, he didn't.
when he spin the chair to the side, I had to I was tucked tight in the chair. What
Hmm.
the fuck? Okay, I get it. Bro.
You said, hey, man, what the fuck is your angle, man? What the hell you doing, bro?
Hey man, get your balls off of me.
You want to get your balls off me, buddy? I mean, fuck you doing? But no, I ain't say I don't hold my breath because I'm
Hey,
scared of no body odor or nothing like that. I just don't just like the exchange of breath to me is an intimate thing.
You're you're
look,
a germaphobe,
Yeah.
basically.
look, you sitting in the damn chair and your shoulder get tired of holding the motherfucker up. It's like, hey man, what's going on, bro? You leaning up. What's happening, man?
Mm.
I mean, you got to ask the question, bro. Hey man, what you doing, bro? I mean,
Yeah, that's
See,
true.
I got the stretch. I got the stretch
Yeah,
to keep from your to keep your nuts from brushing up on me again, motherfucker.
man, dude, I can't even imagine that bullshit, bro. For real, man.
that's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy work right there, man.
Yeah.
Um, last thing about this, right? I've grown to become very close to my barbers. I think they, I think what it does is they are exposed to every personality in our community, every personality. You know what I'm saying? And I give barbers a lot of credit. See, it's easy for bartenders because you're giving them liquor. You know what I'm saying? Barbers, you're dealing with sober minds. And to be able to balance that, you know what I mean? I'm not saying it's the heartbeat of the community, but in closing, what I'm saying is it gives men, not in a therapeutic way, but in a way to express how they feel and feel like there's no judgment. Even though they might get challenged, but to feel like there's no judgment. You could say this and you'll find somebody to address it. So what do you guys think about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's you have to be a communicator. You have to be a communicator. I mean, I had a buddy of mine. I used to work with him, but he was a barber. He was a used car salesman, and he was a real estate agent. Talk his ass off. Talk his ass off. He just wasn't no good with his money. He had it. He had it coming in,
Mm-hmm.
but he didn't do right with it.
It's something about fast money, man. See, that's the thing. Your mentality, your head got to be right for fast money. And it's legitimate. What you're talking about is legitimate, but it's all every occupation you just talked about, it's fast money. Where you get big chunks at a time. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like your mentality has to be, okay, I know, because what we do is, and you tell me what I think, we rush to spend it because it comes so quick. So we kind of like automatically think, I'm gonna get it on the big get back because I know next week the same people gonna come in and I'm gonna cut them up, or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
When you become comfortable with the consistency of the money, because all those occupations, they bring high dollar dividends or whatever, when it's time. But the shit none of that shit's easy. So it may
Right.
be consistent, but it's not easy. So when you become comfortable with the consistency of money, and you know that you always got an avenue, to get it in, then you become comfortable with a certain amount of money. If I can,
Well,
if I can clear five G's this week, which is close to, if not my regular nut, then I'll be fine. But if you can get your mind to a place to see that there's a point beyond that, a point to where 5 G's is a drop in the bucket to you, because that's what you're capable of doing if you can consistently make that $5,000 a week.
Make it work, man. I think I think that's what it is. Damon, what do you think?
If you making that kind of money, it's all based on your skill set, man, and what you earning. You know what I'm saying? Only easy money is dope money, man, and dope sell itself, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
Everything else, you
I get that.
everything else, you earning that, man. You building your clientele.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You putting your product out there, and you winning. You know what I'm
All right,
saying? That ain't easy money.
no, no, hold on. Let me just add this. You don't think it's easy money in which you love to do it and you have a gift and it don't take you time, like this maybe 40 minutes at a time and sculpting art, that's easy
Yeah,
money
but
right there.
yeah, but I mean, it's motherfuckers who pour concrete for a living who love it. That shit ain't easy, bro.
Yeah.
And I get what you're saying. I'm just,
Yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, I get that. I'm just
I
saying.
understand the concept that you're trying to portray. I understand that, man. But if you put out a product, man, and you put your name on it, that's earning, bro.
But see, that's the thing. When I say easy money, is why I even responded to what you're saying, because you put it in the category as hustling. No, that's not what I'm saying. To me, to me,
Emma,
when you're yeah, because you said you brought up you brought up the example of making hustling is easy money. No, what I said, what I was saying is
in
I,
terms of
because you have a gift, you have an artistic gift.
right,
Barbers are artists, man, because they're able to fade you, they're able to shape you, they're able to do these different things. You know what I'm saying? They're able to do that. I consider them artists. Now, other people may not. So my thing is, some of them do it because it's easy for them to do, but some of them do it because they love it. You feel what I'm saying? So me, if I'm doing something that I love, to bring it on home, so y'all understand what I'm saying to you. If I'm doing something that I love, that's easy money to me. That's easy money to me because I love doing it. Whether or not
I
I'm
know
sweating and I'm standing on my feet all day, it's still easy money because I love it.
I know a brother, man, that's bad as hell cutting hair, and he do it because it's family, and that's Julio.
Hmm.
Julio can cut your hair however the hell you want it,
I got you.
and he do it because it's family. You know what I'm saying? And I always thought, damn, what if he just did this as a living? Oh, he'd get paid, man, because he's great at it. You know what I'm saying? And the whole time he got the conversation too, and he makes the time go fast. You know, but it's a mystery to me why he didn't make that his living. But he is great at that shit.
But if you think about it, it's because he's an artist at it, and
Yeah,
he's doing something that he loves. You know what I mean?
yeah. Julio he's a bad dude, man, cutting hair. You know, and
But go ahead, finish though. Then we gonna
he. I
move on.
mean, I think. Well, I ain't gonna speculate, but he's very good at cutting hair, man.
I got you. I got you. Because I'm gonna tell you, because y'all been victim of this with me. Y'all always been victim of this with me. When I see a talent in both of y'all, right? What do I do? What do I do when I see a talent in both of you? As we was growing up, as we've been living, what do I do? Hey man, if you do this and if you concentrate on that, then this is gonna happen for you, right? That's what you just did.
you know, no, this is what you used to do to me. Flu, especially when you're playing sports. Man, why the hell is you making this so hard, man?
Same thing.
That's the one thing that you was a master at. Simplifying shit. Flo, do this, man. And I'll be like, man, I ain't, man, why you all that? I'll be like, and then I try this shit. I'll be like, shit, this shit is easy.
I mean,
I remember, man, one time, man, you had came home from college, and we was out there on the course playing against, because everybody wanted the challenge and shit. We out there playing. And I'm out there running around and this and that. You was like, Flu, hey, man, time out. Flu, that man is trying to go to that goal. Why are you running behind him? Stay in front of him. I took that shit to college, bro.
yeah, you know why? Because I
I
brought it.
don't give a damn how fast you are, how many times you could dribble between your legs. Only thing I had to do was stand in front of your ass.
You got it. You got it. You're right. The way simplify is the perfect word because that's the thing. It's something that you love. You have to do what? You have to understand it clearly and understand where your strengths are and how you can make sure where your weaknesses are that you can make them into strength. I mean, that's just what it is, man.
And standing in front, cutting a brother off is not difficult, man. All you got to do is just be fast at anticipating where you're trying to go,
So,
and that's it.
so let me ask y'all a question. What is your definition of head of the household? Does it have to do with, excuse me, does it have to do with your gender, being a man, or is it other things that's added into it? There's no right or wrong to this. I'm just asking your opinion. Chat, please put in the comments what you guys think because I'm curious about this because lately we've been caught up in the battle of the sexes in the black community. We've been caught up on, you know, whether or not a woman should, should follow leads and the man should take over, even though he don't know what the fuck he doing. But also a woman trying to saying, "Hey, we should be partners in this." But when the chips are down and they become overwhelmed when they take the lead, they look at you. Now this is from past experiences. They look at you and say, "Why aren't you leading?" They don't say, "What are we going to do?" They say, "Why do I have to take on this burden?" When they took on the burden. So I'm throwing this extra sauce in this for a reason. I want you guys to really just give me your definition. Also, you chat your definition of head of household. So I sprinkled that other stuff on there just to be controversial. But go ahead. Anybody? Anybody want to go first?
Man, to me, man, head of the household is that just what it sounds like. You in charge of shit. Now it doesn't mean you in charge of all the shit. There's certain things that my wife has never done. Within this marriage, but she's also the bank, which is just as important as me cutting the goddamn grass and making sure the trash get took out on time. You know what I mean? I'm the one to get up and goddamn go check the noise at night and shit. I don't expect her to do that.
Yeah.
You know, it, I don't know, man. I mean, it's my views are can definitely be categorized as non-traditional or whatever, man. Because just who my wife is, with her opinions and her forever to voice those opinions or whatever. You know, I've had conversations with people about how I need to treat my wife and all this and all that.
Mm.
She just I I talked to a dude before, and he said it was it was uh it was messed up that my wife knew more about sports than I did. And I was like, wow, okay.
What are you talking about? The finer things? No, but go ahead.
Just sports period. I mean, like she know the rules in football. I hadn't known the rules in football
Because
in goddamn
you,
10 years.
you don't give a fuck. No, I'm not defending or going against Nikki. That's not what I'm doing. I'm
No, no,
saying
no, 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 no. I mean, I'm just
what
saying.
I'm
I mean,
saying to you is whatever this guy. This is my point of view, and I'm gonna let you finish.
You knew what I told that motherfucker.
This guy wants to fuck you. Is what he wants to. I know that. Go
You
ahead
know
and
what I
finish.
told that motherfucker? I
Oh,
told him,
no, no, no. Go ahead and finish, Luke. But go ahead and finish before I ain't.
you know what I told that motherfucker? Damn, man, my wife taught you something, huh?
That's real. But go ahead.
She taught you something. Okay. Catch up, nigga. Excuse
yeah,
my language, but catch up.
yeah,
You had a gall in
Oh,
your
oh,
insecurity to
Luke,
think that me and you on the same level. No,
Luke, let
that ain't the
Kawhi,
case.
let Kawhi finish, then we're gonna go to you. But go ahead, finish.
no, I was gonna say it struck me as funny, man, that he would add that to the list of things that kind of constituted manhood, and I'm like, wow, okay,
Hey, what?
that's not that's I mean that's my opinion. I'm an abstract thinker and shit when it comes to shit like that,
We're gonna have some
and
fun. We're gonna have some
I
fun,
just
with man here. But go ahead.
yeah I just boiled it down to what I thought was the very meaning of the shit.
Hmm.
And I'm like, well, okay, she's a sports fan, bro. I mean,
You did,
hell,
bro.
I watch cooking shows, and I like to eat cake, motherfucker. So you know, what's the point?
Oh my cake! What is your definition of head of the household?
Who me?
Yeah.
Yeah, you just broke up. Head of the household is the person who's able to recognize who's in the better position to deal with the situation, bro. That's the head of a household, man. Everybody don't look. Just because you're a man, you don't have all the answers, bro. You don't have all the answers. So you have to, and I say humble for a lack of a better statement, but you have to have the wherewithal to understand that in order to move forward with your woman, you have to choose the right answer. You know what I'm saying? In the moment, you might not have the right answer, and she might have it. Do that make you less than a man? It doesn't. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make you less than a man. What it does is make you understanding how to be a leader, how to be a CEO. You look at the situations that bolster or make your situation better. You know what I'm saying? That's what you look at. And if the person who doesn't have any, who's unrecognizable, give a good answer, now they are recognizable. Now they have an opinion. And that helps everybody out in the long run. You know what I'm saying? Ego is a motherfucker, man. And you know what? Because you're a woman, I cannot allow you to take a stance on something because you're not a man, and you wind up losing out on some shit.
But you know what that is? That's last resorts too. If you depend, hey, I'm the man of this, and you really don't have anything to follow up with it, that's that
My
last
wife,
answer.
my wife, man, is very strategic, man. She's very personal, and she keeps her business to herself, and she's strategic with that shit. Whereas if somebody say something that pissed me off, I'm gonna challenge them, and she would come back to me and say, "Why is you giving this motherfucker attention? Whereas he's trying to get your goat.
Gotcha.
He's trying to get your goat. He's trying to challenge you to make you look small not based on the man you are, but because he's insecure about himself. And you giving him attention. He back here. That's the one thing that my wife always taught me. He back here. Why are you even addressing him? And I'm like, because he's small and he's little and he think he more man than me. She's like, no, he's not. But I'm gonna let you do what you do.
Bro, I'm gonna tell you now. Being 6'9" and lately 300 plus pounds,
It's always that shit, ain't it?
I could give less than a flying fig. The only man that I felt was more man with me was the man that taught me. That's real. That
Look here. My
I
wife told
respect
me.
everybody else, right?
My wife told. Well, I came to my wife one night, man. I was talking to her about this clown ass dude, right? And she listened, didn't say shit. Now, if it was really important, she would have been like challenged me and questioning me, but she didn't say shit. She was just listening. And I say, why you so quiet? Because I can't understand when you talk to me about this clown ass nigga.
It is what it is.
Hey,
Uh,
if I was to say to you guys that black women in particular are trying to secure the same rights and freedoms as black communities trying to secure in America, what would you say to that? From in their homes,
Say that again.
yeah, black women are trying to secure the same rights and freedoms in their homes that we as a community are trying to secure in this country.
it's Are black women subservient in
We
general in homes, bro?
tradition tells us that we want them to be. Everybody,
No, no.
everybody, almost
I'm
almost every
asking. I'm asking.
almost everybody on this podcast circuit want them to be, because that's
First
what
of
they
all,
talking about.
hold
That's
on,
what they
hold on.
talking about.
Let,
That's what
let
they
me
talking about.
let me answer the question.
Well, I mean,
First of all,
let me finish the question, bro.
you did, didn't you?
No. Let him finish.
I'm done when I'm done talking, bro.
See, that's what I'm talking about. My
You
man.
know, it ain't what you're
My
talking
Go
man.
ahead,
about.
finish, Bo.
No.
No,
No, he did finish through. I was trying to answer it, but see, I don't. Me personally,
mm,
I don't. You look. A woman has to be under a dictator who
My
really and
shit
truly
fucking
want to
up.
control them for them to even make that statement, right? Because really and truly, if we love our wives, we'll allow a lot of
Shit.
latitude in our relationship.
for you to say that you allow anything, man, is kind of stepping on toes.
First of all, it's not stepping on toes because our wives allow us, and it's a voluntary allow, Jaquar. It's a voluntary allow. You see what I'm saying? Don't. I don't want you to read too much in the word allow because you are cooperating with your mate. Period. But if you feel you got to fight to get certain things, that person is not for you. I'm sorry. You might love them, but if they do not give you the room to be who you are, I'm talking about in all positive stuff, they're not for you. They're not even close to being for you, bro. You feel what I'm saying? Damon be back in the moment, folks. So this is my point. I'm not disagreeing with you. What I'm saying to you is how you see it. What angle that you see this stuff. You feel what I'm saying? Because what we're doing is we getting pumped with outside opinions.
Keith, how is how is black men aspiring for a traditional marriage arrangement any different from making America great again?
First of all, it's how you see what tradition is. So our mother and father, was that a traditional marriage arrangement?
Absolutely not.
So I see it as. Do you see it as normal? A normal arrangement, right?
Mhm.
But if we go off that cookie cutter Anglo-Saxon definition of it, it's going to look like our mother and father's relationship was on the outskirts. It wasn't the norm. Because what our father did was listen to our mom. And what our mom did, hold on, what our mom did was tell her opinion, but she went along with our father because she trusted him.
Well, I'm gonna say, man, that whenever, like growing up, whenever I witnessed a stay-at-home mom, a traditional, a traditional woman who stayed at home and took care of the kids in the household, she was single and she
No,
wasn't working.
man. No,
Yeah, yeah. What
no,
are you talking? I
no.
said whenever. I said whenever I seen it.
But
You can't tell me what I seen, Keith. That's what I seen.
because you wasn't paying attention.
I paid attention. Yes, I did. Because
So you
I
telling
had
me
a lot of I had a lot of friends, and I went over their houses.
you had a lot of friends. So you're telling me that every friend that you had,
No,
every friend that you had, I mean, that's how you just spoke it, though.
no, that's not
So
what I
I
said.
must have misunderstood what you're saying to me
Yeah,
because you
I
said,
said what I said
okay,
was growing up. The when I did see a picture of a traditional household where the woman stayed at home, took care of the kids in the house, she was a single woman and she didn't work. Now, however she made it way, she made it way. But when you said that our parents,
all right.
our parents' marriage, could be pictured as something on the outskirts, that's not how it was for me.
Damn, man.
Well, I mean,
It norm the example of our parents for me normalized teamwork and coexisting and sometimes having opposite goals and working through them shits. That's that was normalized for me.
what I'm saying to you,
Hey, are y'all on the internet?
Cars, hey, Fluke, we hear you. Can you hear us?
Beautiful.
What I'm saying to you is this. This is what I'm saying to you. Am I disagreeing with you? No, because that's your picture. So it's not like, oh no, you wrong, Jaquar. No, no, I'm not even doing that. What I'm saying to you is this: that, and this is my own opinion, that we've been saturated, our generation, the baby boomers, and you guys, the Generation X's, was saturated with the freaking propaganda BS about broken homes and this and that. So much that it became broken homes. You feel what
Well,
I'm saying?
hell, I even push back on that, man. I mean, what constitutes a broken home?
The definition in which you're working off of right now. You were just talking about it. You
Mhm.
just said single mothers who stay at home. No, mothers that stay at home. They were single mothers.
Mhm.
That that definition is a broken home.
Yeah, I described several situations that I mentioned, but I never at any time said that they were broken. Uh, if I go with that logic,
But you do
if I go with
understand what I'm
if I go
saying to you.
yeah,
Okay.
but if I go with your logic, then it's the same as somebody saying that a black woman can't raise a little boy. Happens all the time.
But no, no. First of all, Jaquar,
It happens all the time.
what you just said is a matter of opinion. I get that.
Mhm.
And you might necessarily be right. But what I'm saying to you is, if you put it is what we always do is we only base everything on what we see.
That's all I can do.
That's all you can do, but you cannot. To me, this is my opinion, and this is why I'm even pushing back on you. You cannot just say every broken home or every no, not broken home, but everything that you saw was this. Yes, that is an example, but you only have a small window. I only have a small window. Damon
Mm.
only has a small window.
Yeah, I never
That-
said
that-
it.
that's all I'm saying to you.
I
'Cause
understand, but I never said everything. I said
what we need to
I
But
see.
but but but
oh, hold
by the
on,
same token,
I'm
I
almost
said
done. I'm almost
I
done.
seen examples. I never said everything.
But listen to what I'm saying to you. But then you made a determination too, along with what you said you saw. That's all I'm saying.
here's the thing. Here's the thing, bro.
Hey
It's
man,
not incumbent.
I'm gonna let you talk. I'm gonna let you talk. I'm almost done because what we need to be is careful with blanket statements because our word carries weight with people who have not experienced nothing that we experience. So what do we do? What we are basically famous in doing on our podcast is giving everyone's point of view. And
Okay.
when you and I was going back and forth, what it was like, okay, I get what you said, and that's what you seen. But I'm also letting you see what I seen also. That's all. You know what I mean?
I came in at the ass end of everything. I don't even know what the hell,
That's why I wanted. That's
what the
why I
point
wanted.
is.
That's why I wanted to finish, Damon, so you'll get a nice.
But based on what you're saying, is that okay? We can all agree to disagree, right? Now, as I'm reading Sister Girl's statement down there, the head of the household and the person in charge and all that stuff, right? We come to the conclusion that, we can come to a conclusion that, hey, man, we're going to go this route and this is what it is, even if we don't agree. You know what I'm saying? But if we're honest with ourselves, man, the three of us, how we conduct our lives, our family, and all that stuff, right? There is a situation where this is how it is. You know what I'm saying? And how it is, huh? Hold on for a minute, fellas.
Let me read this, bro. All right. Marcus says head of the household because I asked Chat to give us their opinion. Head of the household is a legal term primarily. As far as my belief in our home, I am I'm old school. It's Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and I got top billing. I thought that was pretty funny.
Let me ask
Oh,
y'all both this question, man. Let me ask y'all both this question, man. In terms of y'all family and who y'all are and how y'all conduct your lives, man, isn't it a give or take situation, man?
that Damon, that's not a debate. It's not a debate. I asked you guys what your opinion is, and I want you to give me you are. That's
Well,
all.
I'm trying to get an understanding because from in terms of my opinion, it's a give or take thing. You know what
Okay.
I'm saying? It's not, you know what I'm saying? I can come to the conclusion that my ego is this and that and whatever, and what I think, how things should go, you know what I'm saying, is how I think how life is and how it should be conducted or whatever. But in
Yeah.
reality, that's not the case. There are times when I was wrong and my wife, checked me on it, and I realized that I had to go a certain, go a different route. You know what I'm saying? To have understanding.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I am never in that position where I say, you know what I say goes, that's what it is. That is not a conducive way or a way to be in terms of success or moving forward, being okay. You know
And
what I'm saying?
plus, it don't fit your personality either. But go ahead, finish.
What fits my personality is that I'm a selfish ass dude. I could, my attitude would be like, hey man, you know what? You against me, then I'll fight against that. But I have to have the wherewithal to say, if I trust the person that I'm with and how we trying to conduct our lives, I am willing to see things different, and
Right.
might come to a conclusion that I was wrong and this is right, and that in turn might make my wife more in the position of being right than I was in that certain situation.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's why I love this, man, because really and truly, we all we all move in the same direction, but we have different perceptions of it. Go ahead, Jaquar.
Yeah, I truly believe, man, that as a man in a marriage, it's my job to make my wife as comfortable as I possibly can, and it's her job to kind of help facilitate me to be able to do that, and I have to do that for her in exchange. Traditional marriages, man, the way they were set up, and I may very well be wrong. I'm looking out of 1972 lenses or whatever. But traditional marriages are set up to make things easier for the husband, not necessarily for everybody else in the household.
True statement.
I mean, okay, true, but does that apply to our community? Because looking at both you young men, you do not agree with that. But
But
does that apply to our community?
it did, and again it's traditional because a lot of people talk about their granddaddies and they families across town.
Well, I mean,
So,
yeah, yeah, I mean,
I mean,
but bro,
but I'm just saying. I mean, so if things are set up to where you know
Close the door, man.
this guy is being waited on, hand and foot. Things are taken care of for him. His bath is ran for him when he gets off work.
that done out of appreciation, man.
He,
I'm
he,
breaking
he
through
yeah, he doesn't have to
that.
tell his wife what he wants for dinner. He doesn't have to do certain shit or whatever. Uh, if he can, maintain that for a while, then he's comfortable enough to go out and try to find it somewhere else and get another notch on his belt, right?
Y'all,
I get
y'all remember, man. Do y'all remember, man?
steering back to leave that shit alone. Go ahead.
Hold on. Do y'all remember, man, when my hand got caught in that press and shit?
Yeah.
My hand got caught in the press. And I didn't think I was ever going to use my left hand again. My wife said, you need to think about this, Damon. You might not ever be able to use that left hand again. So what you going to do? This is what we're going to do. We're going to get with this company. You will get paid the next 3 years getting money and rehabbing your shit. And I was like, well, I don't know what I'm gonna do without basketball and this and that and that and this, right? And she was like, listen, we finna sue these motherfuckers. You gonna keep getting paid. We're gonna get cars and houses and all that stuff off campus, and that's what's finna happen. And if you listen to me, this is what's gonna happen, right? And I was like, I'm not listening to you, man. And my dad called me. He said, oh, what Nita say? She said, this week goes you. Then that's what the fuck you gonna do, son. And I got paid all the way through college.
I mean,
All
bro,
the way through college. And my point is this. I could be all about me being the man and whatever I was going through and my own personal feelings, and she about okay, you're going through that stuff, but guess what? We can do this too, and we can capitalize on it. And my dad co-signed this shit.
I get it.
So it ain't about the man leaves the house. It ain't about that. It's about who has the wherewithal to have understanding about situations that you're dealing with.
Okay, I can tell this is close to your heart because you got this energy. Like one of us said, opposite of what you said. I
Well,
hope.
kid, you had a tendency to make me have energy, bro. But it's
Okay,
okay.
no. I welcome it, but I want you to understand. I did not go
No, no,
against
no, no,
you.
no, no,
Hey man,
no. You
look,
manipulated.
No, I
hey,
didn't. No,
look.
I
He
didn't.
he reminded me of that scene in Ray when little Ray was losing his eyesight and shit, and his mama wouldn't help him. Y'all remember
It
that?
is what it is.
But
But
what?
do we disavow the situation? Do we say, hey man, you know what? I ain't trying to hear that bullshit and
First
keep
of
it
all,
moving?
first of all,
Or do we say, oh shit, that makes sense?
first of all, I respect both of your point of view. I asked the questions to
Then
get
bring
your
it home, bro.
to get your point of view. That's real. This is real shit. So let's do this. I asked the chat to give their opinion, so we're going to the next couple minutes, instead of giving you mine, because I'm really agreeing with you guys. Maybe not to the degree that you are, but I agree with you totally. But I'm gonna read the chat because they took the time. So Keith Barnes says the family is my responsibility. Let's talk about head of the household. It's my responsibility as a man. If she is the head, she will lose respect for you, and other men and women will challenge you and be disrespectful as well. Right? Now, Malika says,
Okay.
Malika says, some black men have a hard time accepting, and you guys, out of these comments, you guys choose the one that you want to respond to. Some of these black men have a hard time accepting or understanding that they can lead without bulldozing us, right? Which is a good point. Malika also says, talking about us, you had a traditional household from the outside looking in. Her looking at us is what it was. She said our grandmother was a traditional wife, just for you and Jaquari's information. And Nikki says the days of one income household have come and gone. You have to give women the respect due for being breadwinners too, right?
And I know men who would give her pushback on that statement.
Okay.
And I asked him simply, what am I to do? The money that she brings in has been essential, you know, to the shit that we got in our relationship. You
Okay.
know, not saying that I could have did it by myself because I would have found a way.
No doubt.
But when your helpmate is helping, God damn it, then that's what it is.
It's always good to have some fucking help, man. That's real.
And you and me, I can't shortchange her. So whatever she want to do, you know, the best thing I can do as a husband is to goddamn support it as far as I can.
Yeah.
Now, do I support what she does and says all the way? No, I don't think there's any expectation to.
You're not supposed to. But all
Yeah,
right, I mean this last statement.
but
Marcus Smith says, not every home is the same. What fits my situation may not fit the next person's situation. You have to figure out what works for the individual couple. Is there anything? Those are the last of the statements. Is there anything that you guys, or the people who just said, who made their comments? Is there anything that y'all want to respond to?
Man, listen. There are times, man, as individuals, man, and
But,
I'm not saying man and woman, but
but Damon, is there anybody? Yes or no? Is there anybody that what I just read to you? Any statement that you want to respond to?
I was too busy thinking about my own personal feelings and what I'm going through.
Let me move
You know what
on
I'm
to
saying?
Jaqua.
So
Let me move on.
so
Let me move on to Jaqua, then we're coming back to you.
go ahead.
Jaqua, is there anybody that you want to make a point to?
No.
All right, Damon. So what was you saying?
Without taking it to a whole nother level, man. The way I'm thinking now, based on my personal experience and what I'm going through right now, the thing that I think about is that everybody that's involved in the relationship, everybody's opinions and feelings have to be recognized and understood. You know what I'm saying? And respected. So whatever you come to is what it is, and you work through the situation, bro. You work through it. Sometimes you might not come to an agreement, and you agree to disagree. Me, the way I see life right now, I'm not being argumentative about anything, man. Especially as it pertains to my own personal life. What I have to see is what I can see, man, and what means more to me than anything. Because you get pressed to that situation where you have to come to that conclusion. This is what it is. This is what it is. And you have to come to an understanding. If you can't, then you move on, move forward without animosity, without animus. You just do it. You know what I'm saying? But I can't not definitively say, hey man, I understand where you're coming from and I understand where this person is coming from. I can only understand my own situation based on my own experience and what I'm going through. You know what I'm saying? And in the interim of that, I'm asking myself, what means or matters more? It's not being argumentative with anybody. It's this. This is what matters. I understand your point of view. I understand where you're coming from. It's not about black women against black men. It's man and woman in this situation. That's what it is. Make it make sense to me. Talk to me in that way. Talk to me in the way where, hey man, this is where I'm at right now, and I'm pressed, and I have to think this way. You're not pressed, and you don't have to, but that's where I'm at. So, is it going to make sense to you to have a conversation with me to come to an understanding? We have to come to that agreement. If not, then we wasting each other's time, bro. My, I am under understanding that life is short, bro, and we have to make sense of that. We have to make sense of that. Make it make sense in terms of both parties, man. And that requires seeing outside of yourself. But at the same time, respecting each other's point of view. That's what it is for me.
Hey,
You know what I'm saying? I just went through some shit, bro. I only think one way, and this is the only way I'm thinking at this point in time in my life, bro. And I don't have time to waste.
Gotcha.
and at some point, I think I like us to get back to that discussion or yeah, that discussion that we were kind of getting into in regards to broken homes, man. Because I pulled the the definition up on Google, and it said a family and definition of broken homes is a family in which parents are divorced or separated. Okay, now I told you what I was a witness to before, but I've also been a, a witness to a single parent home that was not broken. Everything worked out, and
Okay.
they struggled or whatever,
Yeah.
and there may have been a separation of the parents, and
Because they had to be separated, right?
they had to be, yeah, they had to be separated, but they thrived. A lot of people thrived.
Yeah. That's real.
So I don't consider those homes broken because you can have a two parent home where daddy's a drinker, mama's a pill head, and Wednesday night is ass kicking night. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, I was just just reference point when I said the traditional definition of it is what has been thrown on us. You feel what I'm saying? Because honestly, what you just said, honestly, when there's homes with two parents, to me, can be broken home. When you got two parents who dislike each other and abuse each other mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually in front of the children, that's still a broken home in my opinion. You know what I mean? So it's a great discussion. Last topic of the day is if you were omnipotent for the black community, right? And this is not trying to get into no color situations. It's the black community because that's who we are on this panel. No disrespect to our white watchers, white watchers. That's crazy. But if you was omnipotent, you can change one thing. I think I brought this up before. If you can change one thing in our community, what would be that one thing? Chat, give us your opinion. What do you think it should be? And Damon is required. What do you think? I'm gonna give you a minute to think about it. So don't be in a hurry to answer because I'm going to elaborate a little bit because usually, just like when you're playing spades and you're playing trumps and you throw that one trump out there, y'all played spades before. Y'all might not be expert, but you throw that one trump out there and that trump swallow up all the ones, all the trumps that are a threat. What is the one thing that you can quit? I know this is quick. I needed to give y'all a day on this. What do you think, in your opinion, is the one thing that you can change that would put us on the road of healthy community? I want you to think about that for a minute, and whoever comes up with an answer, then you can proceed.
Okay. Well, like I answered this question the last time, man. I would make it mandatory that I'd say anybody over 55 was obligated if they didn't have grandchildren to go out into to the community and adopt some grandkids, some young kids.
I
You
like
know
that.
what I mean? With an obligation of doing the work to bridge the gap.
Mhm.
You know, spending time. And I would make it an obligation. For us to learn how to fish, so we can teach somebody's son how to fish, and that's it.
Teaching one,
Because
teaching them
it be
one, everyone, one another self sufficiency. Then, but go ahead.
self sufficiency. Just like the barbershop. I mean, the conversations that'll happen during that time will be priceless. You know, I would make sure that every little girl had an auntie or a play auntie or a play granny that they can spend the weekend with, so they can understand how women operate in different households, because it ain't the same.
Gotcha.
You know,
Okay.
and that's it.
I guess for
Damon.
me, man, it's all about trying to figure out how to be the goddamn same, bro. You know, I think we as a people, man, we continue to deal with the same argument and the same bullshit each and every damn time. And the only reason why we are being outmatched is because they speak louder than we do, or they hold on to their shit louder than we do. We hold on to our shit. You know what I'm saying? You have to have an understanding of what the hell you're dealing with. And if you're dealing with two people have who's being selfish and dealing with different situations, you can't tell me how to be black. You can't tell me how to survive a situation. No, what you got to do is tell the people who speak for you how to deal with me. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't, you the fucking enemy too. And then how do we live our lives, man? How do we conduct our lives moving forward? It's going to be chaos. It's what it's going to be. As a black person, I cannot speak or say anything against Trump because the people that's being silent is being spoken for. If you don't want chaos, then you go against that motherfucker who's speaking against your principles. That's what you do. It ain't incumbent upon me to do that shit because what's incumbent upon me is to trust you, not to trust you or them. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? There's no gray area. There's no comfort zone. Either you're going to deal with it or you're not going to deal with it. If Trump speaks for you, then that's what it is, and then we'll go and we'll take it from there, and we'll defend ourselves accordingly.
Okay, Damon.
If he
So
do speak for you, if he don't speak for you, then speak up. And all I got to do is sit back and wait for you to be the first one in line to
so
fight the fight.
so Damon, what would you change being omnipotent? What would you change?
I'm not going to change anything because if I'm being omnipotent, I'm not going to change anything because I'm speaking the truth. There's no lie in what I'm saying. There's no deception. It is what it is. I'm being attacked from all directions. And the only thing I am doing, being omnipotent, is speaking the truth. That's what it is. And they say the truth shall set you free. If that's the case, then deal with your people.
Gotcha.
And let me sit over here in defense in terms of the struggle and fighting to survive. And that's what it is.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay.
I'm not finna argue with a white liberal talking about, hey man, I'm with you and I'm for you. If you was, then you would not let a clown speak for you.
Gotcha.
You fight that fight and then I'll support you. Until then, you the enemy too.
Okay. Um, Let me do this before I say what I feel. Marcus says the ability to come together outside of social media challenge or crisis. Okay, I think that's deep in itself, right? Then Malika says, I think we have to learn how to trust one another. It's really it really is enough for us all to win. Great point. Me helping you, investing in you, teaching you, believing in you, loving you in is genuine. I have no ulterior motive. And that makes sense. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
real.
That's very real. That's real, sis. That's real. Me personally, I think two things: to actually be hungry, listen. I'm talking about with one another, and to be able to identify what is good for the community. Now, will that solve it? No, but what it would do is go a long way into helping people as individuals understand what direction to think instead of trying to guide them into, well, you need to think this. Yeah, you might be telling the truth. You need to be on this bandwagon. You might be telling the truth. But when individuals not allow themselves to really and truly trust, like Malika said, right? And come together and understand what's bad for us, like Marcus said, right? You're going to always, as a group, have mistrust. So my thing is find a way to get rid of the mistrust, but to be able to protect your shit.
But what's the mistrust, bro?
What do you mean? Okay, let me answer that.
I'm asking specifically. What's the mistrust?
The mistrust is
I'm
not,
speaking in trust. I'm speaking in terms of black people and white people. What's the mistrust?
no. I'm speaking of. See, that's the thing about it. I'm not going to the two communities. I'm talking about our community. Mistrust, mistrusting each other.
Oh, therein lies the fight. You're exactly right on that. Absolutely.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the other thing because guess what? We don't know them and they don't know us. But guess what? Everybody's trying to define us. And we're not trying to define ourselves. We take other people's opinions and definitions and we take them on our own. And if you really sit down and think about it, how unrealistically how the world looks at us, then you got to search out what's what.
I saw a podcast, man, the other day where this
Real, real,
brother said,
real quick, Damon, because we gonna shut this down, man. We went on 2 hours.
okay, go ahead, bro.
No, tell us what you feel, and then we gonna take it out
I
of here.
saw this podcast the other day where this brother said black people don't have a culture.
Mm.
African Americans don't have a culture, right? And I listened to him explaining this dumbass shit, right? And I said, damn,
That's
what the
crazy.
hell is he talking about?
Yeah,
The world follow our culture. The world follow our culture.
yeah.
And this ignorant ass dude had the nerve to say, black people don't have a culture. African Americans don't have a culture. That right there should make you understand where you need to fight the fight and speak the truth. The only reason why Trump is able to get away what he get away with and his minions and all these other people on the dumb shit is because they repeat their shit constantly over and over and over again till they convince a person that they speaking the truth. And when we fall short of, as black people, African Americans, and Democrats and liberals, is because we don't do the same damn thing. If we choose to repeat who we are, what we represent, and what it truly is, then we will overcome the dumb shit that they repeat over and over again.
No doubt.
It's all about who's the squeaky wheel get the damn grease. That's what it is. They can
Because
sit back and say all this dumb shit, and we sit back as black people and say, "Damn, that's dumb as hell. That's corny as hell," and we let it go, and they continue to repeat the damn shit. All we have to do is say, well, hey man, look what we worked together with. How we overcame shit. How we worked together and on a mutual plane with each other. Let's repeat that shit and see where it goes. No, the Democratic Party is cowards. They don't know how to win. They don't know how to repeat dumb shit just like the damn conservative people do. And I have never met such dumb bullshit that I hear nowadays in my life. Because just because a person repeats the shit, just because they repeat it,
Okay.
hey man, we're gonna make Obama a one-term president, and because they weren't able to do that, what did they do? They stopped him from getting his Supreme Court justice person in office, repeating dumb shit. And what did Obama do? He didn't do shit. He didn't even address that. He just said, let them say what they gotta say, and they convinced cornball motherfuckers to believe the dumb shit. The only reason why we lose is because we don't fight their shit, overcome it, and repeat ours. That's the only reason why we lose.
Okay.
That's the only reason. And then we got a clown in office saying dumb shit. They said, man, you a clown. The world don't respect you. Oh, that is the most disrespectful and hurtful things and dumb shit I ever heard in my life. But it's the truth. You respond to that by saying, but it's the truth, clown.
All right.
And you continue, to say it. You a clown.
Okay. All right, Damon.
Don't ask me if you ain't want me
No. I
to say
asked
my
you,
piece, bro.
but but what you did was you switched that shit up and you said, I hate Trump for about 10 minutes.
I
And
ain't say I hated it. I did not say I hated the man.
no, listen to what I'm saying. See, I just answered you.
I hope the dumb shit he do in some way he might be successful at it
Gotcha.
because he affecting real people's lives. But he's a clown,
All right.
and we need to say that shit over and over again. Man, why are we dealing with this clown ass dude?
I got you.
Why people paying higher prices and shit? And he uh getting people out of jail who deserve to be there.
You see, here you go. Stop, man. Stop right now. Because we saving
Why
that.
should I stop, bro?
No, we're gonna say that for the next show. I'm telling you, we 2 hours in. Had you brought that up, that would have been a lot of
Well, that's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about this dude let motherfuckers out of prison that deserve to be there.
bro. It is what it is. Man. I get you. I get
But
you.
we okay with that. And
Listen,
then he let Hoover, then he pardon Hoover, knowing that he had to deal with state shit, and he's still gonna be in jail for life.
I mean, it is
But
what it
but
is.
but black people sit back and say, but he pardoning though.
That is a small percentage, man. This is what I'm saying to you. Because the majority of us do not give a shit whether or not he pardoned Hoover or he released whoever. Because the majority of us is trying to eke out our lives, man. We're trying to do what? We're trying to do the best that we can. I
Crazy
understand,
part about it, crazy
but
crazy part about it, bro. We are, and he can't affect us. We are. And you know what I'm saying? All the stuff that's happening, right? This is speak to y'all two brothers, man. Him doing all this dumb shit and the American public is paying for it. Are you struggling? Are you struggling, bro?
living, man. It's what it is. I get you.
No, you're not struggling. And most black people aren't.
Okay.
Because what he does doesn't affect, we know what it is, and we know how to live through it.
Okay. So Malika, and then we getting ready to take this home. Malika said it's
And
not
she's absolutely right.
didn't pardon them. It was clemency. It's a different situation. You know what I'm saying? Because basically what it is okay. So she said it hadn't happened yet, but it's in discussion. You know what I'm saying? It's in discussion. Look, Damon, you brought up fantastic points, and a lot of it I agree with. You know what I mean? And Jaquari, both you guys have done what I've always expected you to do on this podcast. You brought your thing. You did your thing. You did everything that was expected of you, and then you gave us gems, and we appreciate that. Period. You know what I'm saying? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for showing up with me for 3 years. There's a strong perspective podcast. I need you guys to go. People who are watching us live on Facebook, who's watching us live on YouTube, go to our YouTube channel, like, share, and subscribe. Give us some, give us, give us a blessing. In my box, under my name, you see the Cash App for our channel. If you feel love for our channel, show us some love in the Cash App. Because this will keep us going. It'll keep us moving. It'll keep the channel moving. If you don't, that's cool because we're gonna always find a way. That's why I love motion. That's why I love energy. Any last words, gentlemen?
Fellas, appreciate your time, man. I look forward to the next time. We'll see you soon.
My last word, I got a lot of shit on my heart, bro. That I need to express. Do I have the courage to express it or not? That's my last word.
This is a Strong Perspective Podcast. Thank you for everyone who tuned in. Malika, Time Traveler Nomad, Robin, Keith Barnes, Marcus Smith. Thank you. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for tuning in. We definitely appreciate it. The folks that I can't see. Lori, thank you for your comment. Everyone that I can't see, thank you. Thank you for just giving us a love, or just you're giving us love by giving us attention. Thank you so very much. This is Strong Perspective Podcast. We'll see you next Friday. Same back time, same back channel. Have a good weekend.